me. Feed me more. Feed me more.
The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show live, presented by Feed Me More Nutrition. I am the big guy, Ryback. Thank you for joining me going into this WrestleMania weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We are streaming live on Instagram and TikTok. The big guy, Ryback22. TikTok has been on fire after harassing TikTok every single day for the last 4 months. We are back on track. We are rolling. We have hit 2.5 million on TikTok. We are about to hit 2.6 million. We are getting some serious traction once again. So I thank each and every one of you that have followed me over there. And for everybody that watches and listens to this show, it's available on all podcast platforms as well. Please subscribe to my YouTube, Ryback TV. We're about to hit 400,000. We're right around the corner. Subscribers on that. The goal is I want to get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. We got to get that channel kicked up and going. The suppression is very real over there. But all I need is one platform doing well, and that could really, really, really help kind of trigger some of these other ones that I don't have as much control over, that have not been as helpful as TikTok in getting things done. This podcast is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No harmful artificial sweeteners or colors. Vegan friendly for men and women. Available on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% from watching or listening to this show with discount code RYBACKSHOW20. That's RYBACKSHOW20 at the end of checkout on feedmemore.com. You can sign up for my email and text message program, my massive savings program. You get 25% just for signing up for each one of those. I give you huge discounts, guys, to become members of that. You get one message a week for each one message, one text, message of positivity, story of the week on that short little version on a text, a little bit longer on the email with a huge discount. We give out 30, 40. We get buy one, get one free. We've done 50% off sales. We do all sorts of different sales on there for our over 80% returning customers. So please check that out. That's the best way to show your love and support as well. Big update as well. I'm signing on with a big merch company that handles merchandise for people, does stuff for Mike Tyson, Eminem, Donald Trump Jr., whether you're into politics or not. They handle a lot of big time celebrities and things, and they have a very good system. And with everything with my Ryback trademark coming to an end, I'm officially, and we're working on, I ideally want to leave it on feedmemore.com, and they would redesign the site to where it would be the supplements and then the merchandise, and I would have 2 fulfillment centers essentially, one for the supplements and then one for all the merchandise. But the good thing is, it's not like this little Teespring thing and some of the stuff we have on Amazon. This will be official merch. There'll be official Feed Me More Nutrition merchandise, official Ryback brand merchandise, official Hungry merchandise. With all of that, we'll have it all organized and separated with many, many, many more selections with it choices, shirts, workout apparel, accessories, workout accessories, as far as like different types of mugs and different things and drink holders, just all kinds of an assortment on top of what I already have with feedmemore.com. And I'm working on this right now. I got to go take a look at everything before I sign the paperwork. They're in North Carolina. And then with that, we got to decide if we can keep it on feedmemore.com or if I have to split it off and do a whole other site under RYBACKRules.com, because some schmuck got Ryback.com. Some guy in another country, I believe, and he wants like just an insane amount of money for it. And I was like, nope, I'll just do RYBACKRules.com, and it's really not going to affect me. And then you'll come back around the corner when you realize you can't do anything with Ryback.com, and you'll just give it to me. So I played the waiting game before, and I'll do it again with that. Because the guy that bought it with ill intentions, and I just don't play that game. Homie, don't play that. So stay tuned. All that should be coming in the upcoming weeks, and I'll let you know when everything is signed and official, and it'll be a pretty quick process once that is done. on getting that it all incorporated. I'm hoping we can keep it all on the feedmemore.com site and really where you guys just put in your orders, and then the two fulfillment companies, there would be two separate shipments if you order everything in one deal, right? But we can get all that worked out, I feel, and where it won't be too complicated on any of that. So good to see all of you guys. Happy April Fools. Happy April Fools to all of you. Hope you guys are ready. We got WrestleMania right around the corner. I will be watching. I don't know how much of it I'm gonna watch. I'll have it on because I ordered the Peacock there a couple months ago, and there's some matches I really want to see on there and whatnot. So the I don't know who that was. People, I gotta always forget. I gotta shut my phone on when I start recording because I'm streaming, and then people nonstop messages come in. It's my own fault, but it's annoying. As always, guys, health, fitness, supplementation, mindset, life, positivity, pro wrestling. This is a show to answer your questions. It kind of determines the flow of the show on dependent on those questions. Super chats on Ryback TV. The big guys, coffee money. Those are brought up on the screen. Super chats are the best way to go about getting your questions answered, but I will answer the other questions as I see them on here that come on Ryback TV, and I'll try to get to some questions on Instagram and TikTok as well. Oh, by the way, fall dieting. I forgot, we just updated on feedmemore.com, guys, with your orders. I'm giving out free premium t-shirts right now. It's limited supplies. I don't think we're going to have enough for the whole month based off our normal order volume, but probably halfway into the month, depending on things. But we have sizes small through 3XL, the premium Feed Me More Nutrition Hungry shirts. It's on the homepage of the website. Just buy anything on the website. The pop-up will there. Add the t-shirt for free. It's my gift to you guys for the month of April. And that's no April Fools. That's the real deal with that. And as we want to run out of the inventory of the stuff we do have merch-wise as I transition to the other company with everything on that. So take advantage of that. Those are $24.99 shirts for free. No gimmicks. Just buy supplements, get a free shirt. Thank you for saying I was in your top 5 wrestlers. Ryback, what is your thoughts about the WrestleMania that Cody Rhodes might come back? Yeah, we've talked about the Cody stuff before. I honestly don't know, what's going to happen in the Seth Rollins match. I think it very well. I think everyone is assuming it's going to be Cody. You never know. It might be the Fiend. Cody might be the night after on Raw. I don't know. I don't know but it seems like I like things like that where I always talk to you guys about that. The surprise element in pro wrestling is one thing that is really missing. And that's something like even like AEW, sometimes like they announce things and I'm like, it's almost best to find ways not to announce it, but it's almost like it's being done because you want to kind of to see if it's going to spike a rating. But the problem is you're playing to the same people that are already watching. You need, but so it's not going to necessarily spike a rating on that. The Punk thing was one thing that worked short term, and then that wore out even. So but I don't know. I think though WWE not knowing for sure, it's always good to have surprises and. There's they have a lot of stuff going on for 2 days, the 2-day event there for the loose cards. It's those are some long days. WrestleMania week is a long week. I never enjoyed it. And I say that like I always just wanted to just perform. I didn't like having to do all the extra stuff. One, because you didn't get paid for it as well. And everybody else was making money. I've talked about this. It's one of the major downfalls, like the WrestleMania accesses. Everyone's getting something outside of the wrestlers who are just tired and beat up. And they may very well have changed things. And I've heard from people that are there that it seems like they're trying to change the culture of the business in WWE and are starting to for some reason start to treat people better. That now, and I don't know, there's a reason for it for sure. But I have heard that from numerous people that I know that work there, and that it seems that an attempt is being made. And I think that could be coming on the heels of them wanting to sell eventually. in trying to improve the atmosphere for the talent? I don't know. I just know what I got going on, my legal stuff going on. I know that their attorneys are being a lot nicer to my attorney randomly. I told you guys this on the stuff when they reached out to settle, and this is because I'm winning everything. And eventually, there'll come a point where I won't talk about this anymore. But I haven't signed anything, and I haven't done anything yet. So I'm always very honest and transparent. And I'm not going to discuss details with certain things, but it seems because I don't work for them. And I never like even and I made sure I told my attorney, I go, you tell them they don't fucking tell me what to do. I don't work for them. I left that. They don't control me. They could try to control me. They think they have some control over the social media stuff. I go, they don't control me. And I go, I do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I go, that's just the way that it is. And I go, I've spoken the truth. And I go, they punched me repeatedly. It's not me just punching them. I'm punching back. And that's why I've survived and that's why I've won everything. But knowing what I know and hearing what I'm hearing, it seems like there are some positive changes that are happening in the right direction. But to get back to this on this stupid rant, I am looking forward to the Seth Rollins match because of the surprise factor in seeing who it is and seeing the story that develops out of it. I've never wrestled in Mexico. No, El Hombre Grande. I've had a lot of good offers to go down there. Great offers. Alberto Del Rio's asked me multiple times, and this was years ago, and this is right when I'd started my stem cells, and it was just never timed out, and then everything with Sophie, and then my injuries, and then I stopped just doing bookings and appearances to take care of Sophie, and I think there will come a point I will be down there to do some sort of appearance or something at some point, but I just never have, and maybe it will. Maybe it's me going on a vacation at some point, and then trying to shooting Disco Inferno a message to see if Conan can get me a booking while I'm on vacation. My hot chick. Let's see here. Hey, Jose Lopez. I hope you're doing good, buddy. I have had lentil soup. I know I've had it throughout the years, and I've always enjoyed it. I have not had it in quite some time, though. Fa dieting. Do you have an opinion on the slap at the Oscars? No, and it's one of those things as far as it's their business, and we don't even know at the end of the day. Everyone can speculate and guess, and everyone's just making content, right? And then I put up a thing on TikTok with a fan asking what I thought about it, and I said it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think or anybody else thinks. Ultimately, it's a matter between two people, three if you count her, but mainly between those two people. And when acting and being a celebrity, and people that know each other, and you that very well you're trying to get people talking and get ratings or get people interested in you, and you never know. But I'm saying my thing is unless it directly affects us, I'm just big on that. Like I understand it's all cool distractions and haha, and I'll joke about it too, and with the memes and have fun with it. But at the end of the day, it's not my business. I don't know the inner workings of what's going on there. I don't know. On any of that, and it's I like both guys, but I don't know. I'm not going to dive into something and start giving I've seen people giving heated opinions, and I'm like, man, what if that was just set up completely? And it's like you're wasting your time and energy hating. It's just like I love both people. I'm glad everyone's all right. I come from the thing everyone's screaming like assault, and it's like, man, it's just a slap. It's not come on. He didn't attack him. There wasn't a fight. There was a slap and laughter afterwards. So I'm like, I don't. I thought it was great. I think it's great for the memes. It's great for that, but not investing too much time, being angry over something that really doesn't affect us. There's much more serious matters going on in the world that if we're going to get distracted with, right? But even that, a lot of that, we have no control over. And I'm just really big on what I can control and trying to be as happy as much as possible and just keep moving forward, right? because like if I say like I start with that matter and I'm like just making like all these videos on it, giving my opinion and hating on this, taking a side on that. I'm like, doing that is taking away from me and my business and what I'm focusing on because I'm focusing so much on their business. And that's why I try to clarify that to the people when I put out that TikTok. And you'll see there'll be people like, no, it happened on a public forum, it happened on TV, it is our business. Okay. With that mindset, you're then saying that's a weakness on your part of being distracted on everything that's on TV. Are you gonna let everything distract you? We always have a choice at the end of the day. And the people that get it, get it. The people that don't. They play to the people that don't more often than not, right? With that kind of stuff. And it is what it is. But everyone's all right. It's their lives. Let them handle it however they're gonna handle it, right? And let's just have fun and move on. And that's that. Because ultimately I don't know, it doesn't, had it been me, had I you're up there and you get slapped, then it's different. Now I'm personally invested. I know what's going on, right? I can give an opinion on it, but I don't, and I'm not gonna to take a side on something that could very well possibly have been a scripted incident just to and where everyone kind of benefits from it. And I'm just not. But and even if it is real, it's at the end of the day, it's none of my business. And that's my thoughts on it. Hey, buddy, thank you for the super chat. Angelo Contagonus, are you really retiring from pro wrestling? No, buddy, that was just an April Fool's for Twitter. That's why I only put it on Twitter. And it actually, posts like that, the only way I'll get any traction is if posts that get picked up by dirt sheets. Then people will go look at the tweet or they'll link it. Where I typically, anything that is just normal doesn't get seen by my followers and doesn't get picked up because of all the suppression going on there. And even that post is done horrible in the scheme of things with everything. So just so few, like it's so hard for me to ever, since that account has been suppressed. And but no, I'm not retiring, buddy. I told you that, guys. I'm not, like, I would never. No, that's just, it was just I think pretty obvious April Fools without having to say it yet. I'm sure I'll put it up before I go to bed. I'll go, oh yeah, April Fools. But I think it's just pretty obvious. But big guy's not going anywhere. Staying on track to get back and going from there. Amazon does have we have our seller. We get things third party tested and approved for Amazon. We had an issue with the big guy testosterone booster where it was off for the last few months. That's now back, and I believe we have 5 or 6 different supplements on there. The big guy testosterone booster, the Shell Shock Extreme Weight Management Formula, the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the Finish It BCAA, the 10 count creatine, and the brain feed. So I think we have 6 or 7 supplements on there. And then the rest will be following. But there's a thing, because with the testing, it's got to be done every certain period of time, and it's very expensive with that and with everything going on. I've why everything's just kind of been on hold, where everything's the same. I'm not coming out with any new supplements or new flavors until all my legal stuff is over and I know the direction of everything fully. Because all that stuff has cost a lot of money. It's been going on, you got to remember, for almost 6 years for me. So I'm really looking forward to having it all done, right? And I've grown it from 3 supplements to 13 to a profitable business with everything. And I've always been smart. I take chances, I take calculated risk, but I've just always at the same time too. And I told you guys, like, my stuff going on in the economy with the prices going up, my prices have gone up a lot. Shipping has gone up, everything. So I look at it, I go, let's see if things stabilize and come back down. I don't know with that, but so that was why, because things have been crazy ever since COVID. A lot of businesses have gone away for good. I thrived for a very strong portion of that, but it was like now we're going on 2.5 years almost of craziness. It's like, come on, let's get some sense of normalcy and let's go. Let's go. Yeah, price is going up, gas going up, groceries going up. Cost of everything is gone. I've got like all my insurances have gone up, everything. I'm looking at it, I go, man, that's, you know, how's that affecting the everyday person? It's affecting everybody. And me as a business owner, I get hit with it double. I get hit with it my personal life and my business life. So I'm like, come on, guys, let's go. Jose, thank you. Saying I look like I'm 31. I do believe I look the same the last like 10 years. Last 10, 11 years, I look pretty much identical. I actually think I look older when I was in WWE for many parts of it, just because of the sleep and the schedule. But I mean, it's inevitable. You know, the facial hair, everything. Luckily, my dad didn't start going gray until his 50s. I'm 40 now, so I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen. We all age and get older. But I think being primarily with the vegan diet and really, I've always worked out really hard on the cardio and the conditioning. Right, I think do a lot of things that have. I take a nice collagen booster. I eat foods that are supposedly good to help keep you young. So we'll see. Pho dieting, thank you, bud. Those Smash Me burgers looked good. Smash Me baby burgers, yeah, they were really good. Uh, Pretty good. Were they a bit greasy? I want to come to Vegas and have you give me a vegan food tour. Yeah, they were very good. They were not overly greasy. I think they looked because of the way the bun was. Um, they were really really good, and I would say there was maybe it wasn't the grease amount was good. Maybe could have been slightly less, but it wasn't even an issue like where I was like, oh, these are too greasy or anything like that. So they were just really, really, really good. I think with like the onions and the different sauce they had on it, it maybe made it look slightly greasier than it actually was. Mr. Oh, excuse me. The black lung pop, Mr. Work. The big guy testosterone booster, finish at BCAA, wake up unlimited energy is great. I got the peanut butter protein also tastes great. Ryback, thank you very much, buddy. We haven't had the protein, the peanut butter protein in forever. I don't know if you just got that, where you got that from. That wasn't that the peanut butter protein we have not had in a long time. Appreciate all the love and support. Iron Sheik, thank you for swinging by. I just shell shocked you out of Rybackville. You did not make me humble, Mr. Sheik, but maybe next time under one of your other 17 accounts. How do all the weirdos always find me on here? It's like, come on, guys, just go follow other people. Leave the big guy alone. We've got a great following here. Got a great people on Instagram and TikTok and here on Ryback TV for the 4 people that watch on Twitch for whatever reason. And then on Twitter for the 17 people that get the notification that it's going live there. Cool. Leave us alone. Somebody says Triple H was vaccinated twice. This is the main reason for heart problems. A lot of sport people had the same problem. Yeah, I don't know his vaccination status or anything. But I do know that a lot of people that did a lot of steroids in like the bodybuilding world that did get vaccinated, those people, there were quite a few of them that died and earlier than what people thought they were gonna, but when you're doing that kind of stuff, it could happen to anyone at any age. But I'm surprised I've not seen anything on that. I'll be honest. I thought about that when it first happened. That was I said to myself, I go, oh man, I wonder if he got vaccinated. And knowing what I've heard from people, the company was pressuring people to get it, and if they're doing that, if top officials got it and someone like him got it, and then they expect everybody else to get it, that's a scary thing. And that's something that I think should be looked into, which that would be on his end to do that, right? And that, like I said, it's none of my business. It's unfortunate that it happened, and it's very young age, and that position is very stressful, and that lifestyle is very stressful, and there were a lot of factors that I think contributed to that. But if he was vaccinated, that is something that I would think, with the known heart problems, is something that people would like. I would want to know. certainly want to know. I would be terrified. That's why I'm proud of my decision not to do that and to stand by. And now look, and now everything's being dropped, and so now everyone's like, "Well, why did I do that?" And that's the kind of stuff, that's common sense and logic, where you got to look into that stuff and make the best decision for yourself and for your loved ones and your family while things are getting rushed and peer pressure, and because you're the one that's going to ultimately have to live with that. He's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. That, you know what I mean? That's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. And I truly feel, but I don't have the details. I appreciate all the love on TikTok. I'm having a lot of fun when the account's doing good. My creativity flourishes on that. It's like, because it's one thing when I'm always creative, but if you have stuff, it makes it very difficult when I post on Instagram and it's just usually just sharing the stuff from TikTok, and I get like 200 or 300 views after being able to get thousands. Even when I was getting thousands, it was suppressed. Now they've got me down to getting a few hundred or 500 or 600 most of the time. I'm like, this is bad. But that's been that way since early December. They won't fix it on that. Some posts will get into the thousands, but that's very low for the following. And it's like, I just, it makes it, you're like, well, nobody's even seeing my stuff. And it's like, I'm like, how do I have this following and nobody sees it? But I'm the most followed on this other platform where everybody sees it. It's like, come on. But I've known this from the beginning, what's going on. But the TikTok I have a lot of fun with, and I'm thankful that they're showing the content. Thank you very much, Sean Morrison, saying I handled everything professional. Sorry, Iron Sheik has somehow come back. We're gonna have to hit Iron Sheik with a meat hook. Did Iron Sheik just make powder out of here? Did Iron Sheik somehow get one last comment before, or was that an old? I don't know. I could have swore I just saw a new Iron Sheik comment and then it disappeared. Oh, that was an old one. No, it wasn't. That was a new. It was a new account. Son of a bitch. Iron Sheik sneaking back in. Hit me from behind. Good to see everybody on TikTok. We got, what do we have, about 700 people in here today right now? It's crazy, the fascination with the chips. I noticed that's a big thing on Twitter or TikTok. Is a lot of people, they're just like, chips guy, chips guy, chips guy. And oftentimes it's not complete sentences. It's like, you bag chips, eat you him. And I'm just like, it reminds me of the movie Idiocracy, where they can't complete really good sentences, where they're like really dumbed down. And I go, we are literally living in it now with like this group of people that can't even form sentences to communicate their thoughts. Like, hey, you're the chips guy, aren't you? Question mark. That would be what I would consider acceptable. But like, yo, dude, eat bag chips, Ruffles, ayo, yo. I'm like, how do I respond to that? I don't know. But yeah, I'm him. Thank you for commenting on my post. Am I ever going to go back to WWE? My goal is to handle the legal stuff with WWE, and once that's over, a lot of things will go from there. A lot. They'll a lot be able to move forward and be free with all that. Question asked. Super chats are brought up on the screen, guys, here on Ryback TV. I'll get to the. Someone asked, "Am I jealous of Hunter?" Absolutely not. Now I have no. You got to understand. I had no hate towards him. I loved him growing up and wanted him. I just. I've talked about all of it. Like, the guy literally prevented me from being on the cover of Flex magazine 2 times. One of those times, him and Stephanie took my month of November that I was supposed to be on it, and they took that month for a photo shoot for them for Muscle and Fitness. This was told to me by Flex, by the way. Sean Perriman, I believe was his name, who passed away, who was handling that. And then another guy, Per Bernal, who did the photos, called me the second time when they wanted me on the cover again. This was coming towards the end of my time in WWE. And Hunter once again put the nix on it, did not want me on the magazine. And they tried to get Roman Reigns on it, who at the time wasn't in good enough shape to be on the magazine. And they did not want Roman. They wanted me. So you guys got, a lot of you guys don't know like the personal stuff. I don't have any insecurities. I love everybody, man. A lot of people get insecure about me. And like people get mad at you. You're happy. I walk around, I'm happy, I'm smiling. I'm a good looking dude. I'm bigger and stronger than the majority of people. I get it, I guess. But like, I'm a pretty happy go lucky, nice guy. But like, my thing is like, if you tried to attack me or come at me, motherfucker, you're going to have your hands full. And I just don't put up with the bullshit. And all those insecurities and jealousy was on his end, not mine. And a lot of you don't understand that and don't understand the things that go on. And I've always spoken honestly about all of that. And whatever I said on Twitter, I've told him to his face before I left. And he put his head down and he didn't say anything. So it's like, and it's not, and it felt good. And it felt good to say it again. And I'll tell him again when I see him, if I ever see him. Because he did a lot of things that hurt me and that were not cool and you don't do to people. That cost me a lot of money and opportunities. And it was, when Vince wasn't at TV, he would purposely change my booking for the worst when Vince wasn't at TV. Get out of here. Get out of here. It's so stupid and petty. And I don't have time for it. I'm sure there's guys that love him and like him and had better experiences. But man, you hear about it all the time. He has a weird thing with people in shape. Big guys that are in shape, I truly believe triggers some sort of weird insecurity in him. And that's his deal for him to work out. And I've always said, though, everything but karma. I've told you guys, Vince has had a lot of karma happen here. Hunter's had a lot of karma. The people that do bad, the karma comes back around. And I've said it and I'm not perfect. I'm no angel. But it's not me personally attacking people. It's me fighting for my life and having to punch back. And then once you understand that, a company that's pushing out lies and trying to sabotage you, and you have to fight and keep putting stuff out and blocking people day in, day out for 6 years straight. I don't think you can imagine that. I want it all over and done with, but I'm certainly going to tell the truth on the situation, right? I'm not going to sit back and I've won everything. I've literally won everything. I've won everything by being myself and telling the truth. And you either love me or you hate me, but I'm going to be my goddamn self day in and day out. And I'm proud of it. Sophie's doing very well, thank you. She's in a really good spot right now, and God, I love her and little guy more than anything in the world. And every day, man, I go to bed, I just kiss him and say thank you. I've had this time to be home and just reflect on the things I'm truly thankful for. And this period of 6 years of literally being quarantined for 6 years, I feel like, to get my life back and build all this stuff that's going to give me so many opportunities. This is a moment I'm going to talk about over and over again as the years go on of doing the work while people can't necessarily see it outside what you can see, but outside of not being famous and leaving that world and just building and building and building and building and building and pulling that slingshot back and pulling that slingshot back and having that shield and deflecting the hate and the rocks and the negativity and building and building and building and winning all this stuff behind the scenes against this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. It's amazing feeling and story. It really is. And I look forward to telling it, and I'm going to tell it. It's going to be good. Hey, John, sounds like you and Punk both don't like Hunter. Weird you and Punk can't get along either. Brother, me and Punk never had any issues until Punk, the moment the issue started, I'll never forget, is when he came up to me when I was by the merchandise people, when I got plugged into the main event scene and my merchant was getting really hot. I can tell you one thing. I never once went over to the merch people and be like, hey, man, how's my merch doing? Is Punk and Cena, where they at? I never even knew to even think about that because I just don't worry about other people on that. But I'll never forget, he came over and he goes, holy shit, that's your merch? The numbers, they were showing me. And then Cena got pissed that the merch guys, because they thought they had a new red hot ticket on hand. Cena got pissed that I was being shown all the merchandise. So the two numbers, so the two guys that were hooking me up and giving me these numbers, who weren't hooking me up, but they were just doing their job and like letting me know what I'm worth on that. They got fired. Two of them got fired. Cena threw a fit, and then they cut me off from telling me. And then eventually, when my merch got well into the six figures and was rolling, that's when Vince and everybody cut my merch off and then turned me heel. They took all my merch away. I swear to God, can you imagine working your whole life and busting your ass, doing nothing wrong, but just people being upset? And it's stupid. But and Punk, I don't know what the deal was. We always got along. Punk used to tell me, he goes, hurry up and get in the main event so I could take a break. Literally used to tell me that while I was doing live events and not debuted yet. So, but I'm telling you, the only two people in that company were the two top merchandise people. And I go, it's just fucking common sense. Just look at it. I get along with everybody, and I have no hope. I want the best for everyone. Like Cena, I'm happy for him having his movie career. Doesn't affect me one bit. I know who and what I am and what I'm building. Punk, I'm very happy he's back. I put out nice things that he got to have that moment because I can imagine it was a great feeling with that. But it's like I'm also not going to like pull any punches on stuff. I'm like, no, man, you also said some stupid stuff about me and lied, like, But I don't dwell on it. I'll talk about it, but I don't dwell on it where I'm like, it ruins my day-to-day activities and whatnot. John says, did you see on the Pat McAfee show? Great show, by the way. Vince was squatting 1,000 pounds. Vince was not squatting 1,000 pounds. Vince maybe, I don't know if Vince can leg press 1,000 pounds. Now, I'm sure at one point he could. Vince never in his wildest dreams could squat with a barbell in Olympic weights 1,000 pounds, not even close. And there is a major difference on leg pressing and what you could squat. I've leg pressed with elite power lifters in the 16 to 1,700 pound range and hung with them on that. And for Vince to do 1,000 at his age, I would have to see how far is he going down. But don't get me wrong, Vince is a very dedicated animal when it comes to working out and staying in shape with all of that. But he's not squatting 1,000 pounds. Leg press is a different story, but that is a lot of weight on a leg press. But I've seen chicks that can do a ridiculous amount and they can't even squat 225. So it's just it's all dependent. Did I interact with the divas during your run in WWE? I don't know how. Like I don't know how to answer that. Like, did I interact? Like, do you think that you say hello and you talk to people all day long there? Talk to everybody. So I don't know what like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vince said he squatted. That's Vince being completely full of shit if he said that. Vince, have you ever seen Vince post a video of him squatting 1,000 pounds that even the most elite powerlifters don't do? Outside of a couple people who've done up around that range with all their legs all wrapped up, and you think Vince at 70 whatever 5 or 6 is squatting 1,000 pounds? It's probably like 600, and the trainer's like, "That's 1,000, Vince, on the leg press." God damn it, I still got it. Like, and then he goes on the Pat McAfee show and thinks it's like, come on, Vince, let's tell the truth on that. I don't know who's stronger on Cena or Lesnar. Lesnar says he doesn't even lift weights anymore, which shocked me. But he's still lifting, but I don't know what the thing he uses a different thing. But it's not like free weights. Garrett, I feel very, very good. My back is 100%. The work on my shoulder is continuous. It's going to remain continuous. If I had to get ready for one big match, it would be not a problem at all. But if I was going to do something more past that, I want my shoulder to be a little bit better in certain areas. And it's very. I can't explain this to you guys. It's just I needed a shoulder replacement. This has never been done before. My back, what we've like, and this isn't like I'm tooting my horn in a way, but like it's never been done before. And I've been very blessed with the stem cells with all this stuff. And like my back's not even an issue. Like my back is 100%. And that was the worst thing. But I had very bad structural issues with my shoulder that caused a lot of pain, a deep pain that I never want to come back ever again. And I don't take pain pills. And like I'm telling you guys, the pain, it is not worth it to have that pain. It doesn't matter if it was just for one time. It's not worth it to appease you guys. It's not worth it for me to go back to the pain that I was in to for just like for when I don't need to. Even if I needed to, I would rather just go get another job and go do something. If I didn't have everything I had, I'd rather go work at the strip club with Disco Inferno and look at hot chicks all night and get paid great money than go chance that because I don't have an ego. I health is wealth. I will not lose that ever again. I put that off for that company from day one when I was there because that was put in my head. To then I didn't get my ear fixed. I didn't get my nose fixed. I lived in misery from day one in that company from developmental from 22 years on. And I swear there's so many of you are just clueless on all of this. And I speak honestly about this and I can handle all the pain in the world. I wrestled in pain every single day with injuries that I shouldn't even have had to with my ankle injury and all that BS. Like, which by the way, and I'm going to wrap this up and put a button on it with the Hunter stuff for you guys. Hunter was the one responsible when I had my multi-million-dollar lawsuit with my ankle. Okay, just so you know how personal this is. He was the one in control who came up to me in developmental and he goes, eventually we got to pull the plug on you. After I'd covered up all their mistakes because he was just getting connected into the developmental thing before he took over. So he wasn't even involved yet. And the trainer they had down there, they paid him off and fired him, who made all these mistakes and sent me to the wrong doctor. They had all these malpractice lawsuits. Instead of sending me, they tried to save money instead of sending me to Birmingham. All these mistakes happened, and I was the one that had to correct all of them, on top of having permanent nerve damage in my left leg with that. I had a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and I've explained all this over and over and over and over, but so many people are just so goddamn stupid and can't get it through their skulls with this. And he had Jane Geddes, who I have recorded, by the way, and I've saved that recording, and it's done me a lot of good with that, who called me and threatened me when they put me in the main event scene, who called me. We had an open and shut case. We had the doctor that fixed me to enough to go back, willing to testify. Hunter had Jane call me and threaten my job, which is recorded, mind you, which is how I get away with a lot of stuff. I have it recorded, right? And then Jane said, either you're not going to remain in this company if you do not drop this because we are afraid it's going to affect us. What's the word with the perspective of WWE with that people having with all the mistakes they made, they did not want that becoming public knowledge. And so this is why I get pissed with all the creative stuff, because I literally gave up probably anywhere between $5 and $8 million for them, and I go, you know what? Okay, everything's good. You're going to give me an opportunity to go make the money. I'll make the money back here. I'll work for it. I'll leave that easy money for that I need. I'm going to have to deal with nerve damage for the rest of my life. And so that's why it's so personal with me. And then once the statute of limitations ran up, they started screwing with me with WWE TV. So any of the wrestlers that don't understand that, they can go fuck themselves. Any of you that don't understand that, you can go fuck yourselves. This stuff is personal, man. And that's why I'm passionate about making the changes so that nobody ever has to go through the things that I went through with them and all the games and the BS, because I trusted them with my life. And they spit on me and stabbed me in the back and tried to shoot me in the brain, and I didn't let them. I walked away before they could do that. And that's why I come at them with such a vengeance, because I go, no, I gave you guys everything. You had lightning in a bottle with me because of the energy I gave you. And that's why I got out just in time. And I go, and I've rebuilt it back up, and I will never let that mistake ever happen again. But that's why I'm as passionate, and that's why I come at them with that stuff the way that I do. And I've talked about this already, and you don't get it through your goddamn skulls. But you will. I'll repeat it as many fucking times as I have to. It was never booking. It was never just that. There were so many backstage and all that were brewing from ever since all that stuff happened. So any of you that have an issue with me wishing Triple H well after everything he has done to me, you can go screw yourselves. I wish the man that has done a lot of harm to me well, and I wish I was the bigger man, much bigger than he ever will be, without the drugs also. And I don't give a shit what you think about it. That's the fucking truth. The fucking truth. Moving on. How are the Latinas treating you? Life is good for the big guy. El Hombre Grande is living large. We've got a super chat here. Mark Chudy. Since I'm skinny with a high metabolism, not cat metabolism, how can I gain a few pounds? A basal metabolic rate calculator online, Mark. You need to be consuming more calories day in and day out than you are burning. You plug in, type in basal metabolic rate calculator online, plug in your information as accurately as possible. It's going to tell you you need, and your activity level, be as honest as you can. It's going to tell you you need 3,000 calories a day or 2,500 calories a day to maintain your weight. So what you're going to do is start off in 500 calorie increments, since you have a fast metabolism, would be my suggestion, and start eating 500 extra calories a day and see if that makes a difference. And I would try that for 3 to 4 weeks. And if you're not improving, if you don't notice your muscle mass improving visually in the mirror, and you got to be training with this as well, with this, for, you could just eat more, but you want to be training so that you actually are building quality muscle with that. And if that's not quite, if you're not seeing a change, if the scale's staying the same, you have a really fast metabolism and you need to go, I would bump it up another 500 calories. Finding a quality weight gainer shake with not a ton of sugar, with more complex carbohydrates, and they have them out there. There's a really good one that's a vegan chocolate protein called Naked Mass, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that has some good flavors. You're the kind of person that a weight gainer shake is truly meant for with that. And or people, hamstring, got a cramp. I did legs today. Whew, that would have been bad. I caught it just in time. But you're like, or people that are doing like NFL players, MMA athletes that are doing hours of just hard conditioning and training, they really benefit from throwing a weight gainer shake in there to replenish those calories. And then they can kind of keep their diet kind of the same that they would if they weren't doing that training. And then that shake is just implemented on the higher days. People like you, though, need to have that shake every day, my man. And it really, really will help get those calories up. And it's one of the deals with, the benefits of having a fast metabolism is you're never fat, right? The bad thing about that is it's hard to gain muscle and strength sometimes. And it's like, we always want what we don't have, but you could kind of fight that with weight gainer shakes, I believe. And rice and beans, great way to get extra calories. RT Gaiman, he's just trying to get you to feel bad for him and say, brother, you can't even spell the word buy correctly. Get out of here, man. Jesus. Nobody has facts about me lying. So you can go ahead and try it. You can't even spell correctly. So you just further prove my point on you miserable gremlins. Super chat, Michael. It was a belt squat he did on the video, not regular. Also in their prime, who would you rather main event at WrestleMania with? The Rock, Stone Cold, Hogan, or Cena? Stone Cold in his prime. Rock and Stone Cold. I've wrestled Cena in his prime. Cena, and I told you guys that was great. And Hogan would be amazing. All of them with all of that. I'm trying to think. Austin. Yeah, I'm going to go Austin. I think that, but Austin and Rock, but Austin would be the one. And I'm looking forward to, someone asked me earlier what matches I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Kevin and Kevin Owens, with Austin and Kevin Owens with that. And he's been gone 19 years. And, I can imagine, his last match was WrestleMania, right? With The Rock. And he was back 19 years, and his next thing, well, he's been on TV and stuff with them. So, but if he's gonna, and I don't, maybe they do a street fight or something, or I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do, but it seems like they're kind of alluding to it being a little bit more, right, with all of that. But and you never know. Maybe Steve, that day of the show, he's like, I don't think I can do it. I'm not ready. Maybe it's just a segment with a stunner, and I don't think anyone's going to be upset. It's still going to get a hell of a reaction, right? But we'll just have to wait and see. And Vince with the belt squat. Yeah, belt squats are great, man. I want to get one for my gym. Those things are, I wish the gyms that I go to in Vegas had them. There are a bunch of gyms here that do have them, though. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Do you think blood will come back because of how much they are talking about it? I don't know. I don't never have cared for any of that. I don't ever want to have to like I don't think it's worth it to scar your face or do anything. Um, outside of maybe I don't even know. I just look at it like it's physical acting. I would rather just use fake blood somehow. I get it. But you got to understand. Like last thing I think bleeding out there is the most dangerous thing that you could legitimately die from in a pro wrestling match with how much blood a lot of those guys have lost at different times. I'm just like, why? You don't need to. It's physical acting with that, and it's like I just look at things a little differently. I look because I love wrestling, but I live a whole other life outside the wrestling bubble where some people obviously don't, right? So, and it's cool. Do your thing. I'm looking at it from my perspective and point of view, though. And now, if I get busted open out there and I'm bleeding, cool. I have no like it happens, but like to actually take a blade and cut yourself and like, no, I could care less. A dream match for me would be going out there, getting a massive pop, and then getting out of the building before the show is over. that's a dream match for me. That was my dream match every night that I lived for years. Go do a bunch of stuff, wrestle, get big pops, get on the road, and go to the next town and repeat. Do we have a question on IG? What's going on? Over, we got 1.2 thousand people in here on TikTok. Thank you very much, guys. We usually TikTok, we get between all the platforms, we usually get between 50, 55, and 70,000 views and listens on the show every show. So I thank you guys with all of that. We do pretty solid numbers. Let me see if I missed a super chat here. I found it, buddy. Thank you for letting me know. Silva Surfer super chat. Ryback, why did you stop wearing the singlet in 2016? Um, that was okay. I actually didn't want to stop wearing the singlet, but I was already all the stuff was going on with my contract, and I didn't care. I just was doing whatever I wanted to do, and I remember I just had a pair of my black undertrunks of the singlet, and I just remember going, I'm just going to wear trunks tonight just to piss Vince off because he usually like they don't want you making changes unless it's approved, and it was nothing more than me just doing whatever I wanted to do, and then just so I could piss him off, and that was it. And then it pissed him off, and so I kept doing it, and then he eventually needed the meeting with me, in which we had our meeting and a bunch of stuff was talked about, and he promised me certain things if I would sign the contract, and then I had changes made to the contract, and then I already knew that I was leaving, and I just didn't know when yet, and then so I had my attorney put in a bunch of stuff on that, and then where was it when I got to TV? I just wore them. I went to just stayed in the trunks. Vince was because Vince had promised me. Vince was actually then fine with me switching to the trunks, and I've talked about this and promised world championship run, and that's what that whole thing with me beating down people on the ground and pound was supposed to lead to me just running through. It was supposed to be for the championship eventually, based off if I would have signed the contract, and I do believe if I would have signed that contract, because they've done it before, like they do that with people. If you sign a contract, they'll book you better for a short term period, right? It's a common knowledge now. And everything I've told people where they're like, you're crazy. It's common knowledge now with that. But I didn't sign the contract. So that got switched to then Kalisto. And then when I didn't sign the contract still with that, it got changed from being on the main card at Mania and winning the US title to being put on the pre-show and then putting over Kalisto. And then I still didn't sign the contract. And another month went by. Notice I wasn't on TV as much, but they put us on for one more pay-per-view on the pre-show again. That was, again, sign the contract. I'm not signing this contract unless you guys adhere to these changes that I want being made, which even then I knew they were not going to go for those changes on that because I wasn't going to give them my trademarks on that. And then when I got to TV after that, they usually will do that. And people will be like, oh man, they're burying me on TV. They're burying me. I'm not going to, I'll sign the contract. I was just so far gone already at that point. And then when I got to the TV the next day, I go, I'm done. And that's where I said, I walked out. They go, do you want to talk to Vince? I go, I never want to talk to him again. And then that's when they started putting out the lies. They never once were in control of that situation. And I remember hearing later that, and I saw stuff where they said, like, I got sent home. No motherfucker sent me home. I told them I was leaving, and I got my bags. And then Mark Carrano was freaking out, who's now fired. He goes, do you want to talk to Vince? I go, I never want to fucking talk to him again. And I literally got my bags, and I went and got my car valeted from the valet guy, and I went to Hooters, and then I went back to my hotel, and then I got my flight the next day, and I went home with that. And that was that. But that's when the lies started because they wanted to control the narrative. And then I let my contract run out. I was never fired. I still deal with this with people. They go, oh, you were fired. I go, how are you going to tell me that I was fired when my contract ran out? And I literally, I got my injuries fixed and got paid to the very last day that my contract ran out. Like, get the fuck out of here. So it was just done just to piss Vince off, essentially, and just show off my big jacked body before I left. Nothing more, nothing less. I prefer being in the singlet. But you tell people the truth, and they can't handle the truth. Put a shell shock on someone here. Super chat. Sammy Romero, good to see you, buddy. Lots of love and respect, my brother. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much for the love and appreciation and the support, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. I just love regular good people. That's all I ask. Just be a regular, kind, good person. You don't have to love me. Just don't be a scummy piece of shit. Happy birthday, buddy. I hope you have a good one, Emily. Yeah, we got him out of here. I apologize. Some of these, when some of these people, let me see if this one. There we go. Super chat, Michael Moranti. You have to put $10,000 on a street fight between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Who you taking? Jesus. I honestly don't know. I can't even answer that. I would tell you though, I would get a 24 pack and be on that street enjoying every second of it, though. I know that much. It'd be a hell of a fight. It's a street fight though. So I don't know. They're both extremely tough dudes. But still, I just want to be drunk, have a good front seat. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. I would have to probably drink all 24 beers, and then I would make a wild decision that, I'm going to bet on one of these guys. Sober and not drunk. It's very difficult to do that. I am going to watch parts of Mania, yeah. WrestleMania, who do you got, Brock or Roman? I'll tell you, Brock has put Roman over a lot. I don't know. I don't know what you do with this. Vince, I think Roman should win. I think you have an opportunity to bring somebody in to defeat Roman and really, really, really use that momentum to create another big name on the roster if they do it with the right person. Brock does not need that. That said, Vince is notorious for keeping power within the circle. And there is a very good chance that Brock is the one that takes that long streak that Roman is on and wins. I don't think it should be him, but Brock has put Roman over now a bit. So it's all dependent on, I think Roman personally should keep this going as long as possible until they're ready to pull the trigger and do something big and have him defeated. I don't think it is, and I think they can do that and protect Brock out there and then move that storyline on and let Brock go on to do whatever Brock's going to do. It's tough. Brock, it doesn't have a ton of guys that Brock works with, right? So I don't know what you do. But I know I love the babyface version of Brock, and it's a lot of fun. But I honestly, it's just really, I honestly don't know. But nothing, just knowing what I know, nothing would shock me. I would hope Roman continues on, though, because that's when you get that momentum like that, you want to protect that. And like I said, Brock is already a megastar. Roman's already a megastar, right? They're big time stars. You could use that energy to really get somebody else up to that level. The question is, do they want anybody else up around that level? And that's always been kind of the challenge. Of course, steel chairs hurt. They're steel, my man. Emily, thank you very much. I'm actually looking forward to see what they do with Bobby Lashley and Omos. Is it Omos? Omos? The big man, the huge man. I would Bobby coming back after if he had a little bit of an injury. I don't know what I would be shocked if Bobby defeats the big man, Omos. I would think the way they're building him, but knowing them, they'll have Omos lose and then continue just doing what he was doing on Raw. I'm telling you, like nothing shocks where you're like, why would you ruin all that momentum to then just go back to doing what you're doing? And they're like, but they do their thing when they do their thing. We've talked about the Razor stuff, man, the Scott Hall stuff already. I love the guy, so it sucks. We have Feed Me. Thank you for the super chat. Yo, big guy, hope you're well and hope you're better. Thoughts on this year's 2-night WrestleMania card? Who do you think could put Roman over for the title? I'm looking forward to it. I think it's, I prefer things just to be one night, but, from a business standpoint and understanding business a lot better now, if they did the 2 nights last year and obviously it proved to work where they obviously were more profitable, you got to look at they're not saying they're going to double their revenue, but they are essentially they're selling out an arena or booking an arena really full that's enormous 2 nights instead of one. You got to pay more talent because you have more talent on the show, but you are obviously it makes sense financially for them if they're going to continue to do that. My thing is, I think this will continue. I feel like they're going to eventually do. This is what they've done with everything. It's like when they first made the shows longer, the pay-per-views, then they made like SummerSlam longer. It's like it's only going to be a matter of time where I think they're just going to they're going to like, man, we could run stadiums in 2 nights, and until it proves to not be successful, I think they're going to take that chance. And maybe they just leave it for WrestleMania, but I have a feeling, knowing them, Vince is like, well, okay, we're doing this now routinely. Let's try it 2 nights for SummerSlam. But I don't know with that. It makes it's a lot, but it's good. You get to see a lot more on a cool big stage, right? It is weird 2 nights to me still, but being a talent, I would prefer that personally because I know now if I'm in that environment, that gives me more of an opportunity to make a big payday and to go out there and right after a years of hard work and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know about Roman. I don't know who that person should be. I honestly I don't know. And that has to be something they decide on that. You know. Peter, good to see you, buddy. What do I think about RK, bro? I love Randy. I've never met Matt Riddle, but I love they have good chemistry together, and um, it's very entertaining. So and I always got along very very well with Randy. I wish I could have worked a nice program with Randy. We've just had a couple. We tagged together a few times, and we've a handful of times, and I've faced him, I believe, in that triple threat with me and Roman. Um, and I don't even remember. I'd have to go back and watch the whole match, but we didn't have a lot of interaction. We had enough, but he was. I always enjoyed him. He was always really really cool with me, and likewise. He was the most insecure top guy I think I've ever met. As far as like Randy, like with me, he was very he just seemed like I wish they all were like him. And Jericho was all as well. But Jericho and him. And I don't want to leave Jericho out because Jericho was as well. But Randy was there around a lot for all of it. And like he was the one who would come up and just be like, this is and he was going through, he had his booking was really bad for a while, I remember. And things got weird for a while. Like there was like I remember Kane's booking got really bad for a while, and everyone's like, what is going on? There were some weird times during that period, but I always got along really well with him. Our Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burners are they're shipping out, I was told Monday or Tuesday to fulfillment. So they will be in very soon. Hopefully they'll be in stock by the end of the week next week. And you're not going to find a better fat burner. They're now called weight management formula, but it's the extreme fat burner still. Same formula. We just had to change the name for marketing. But again, if you were to buy all the ingredients individually on Amazon, you're spending $130, $140 with all of that. And we certainly do not charge that. And I believe it is the most effective, the safest, and the best fat burner that you could buy. And I religiously use this stuff. And if you've seen my photos, you've seen me. And yes, I diet like crazy and work my ass off, but the products work. The products work if you work. I thought Umaga was awesome as well. I was a very big fan of Umaga when I was growing up. And I was older already, but watching, I was in developmental at that point. Another super chat. Super chats are flowing in tonight. Thank you, guys. Who would win a 6-man elimination chamber? And this is from Sean Christian. Who would win in a 6-man elimination chamber? Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns versus Ryback versus The Fiend versus Brock Lesnar. Whoever that Vince and the producers and his henchmen decided in the production room. That is honestly who would win with that. It would be whoever they decided to win would go out there, and you would have 6 physical actors go out there and perform. That is an honest, straightforward answer. I can't BS you, my man. And I would hope that they would pick me. And if they didn't, I would go out and play whatever role that I was destined to play that night to the best of my ability, as I always have. Because I would want everyone to do that for me. And that is what being a true professional is all about, which is why I laugh. I have always been a true professional. If I ever see or hear anything that states otherwise, I just go, you are clueless. Thank you, Dominic. Yeah, no, we use so many ingredients. Trust me, there's pills much, much larger. Those are actually not, I mean, there are smaller capsules with that, but with the amount of ingredients we use, here's my deal. What I tell people, I go, would you rather me sell you products that don't work and give you one tiny little capsule? Or would you rather take several capsules of a product that's a little bit larger that actually work? And I understand, trust me. But like and my deal is I believe if a product works, you'll keep using it. You may not like the size of the capsules, even though I don't think they're even that big, but everyone's different, right? They're clearly big to her from what the capsules she's used with that. But like it's you're getting a product that works. And I feel that is the better of the two than sell you a bunk product that doesn't work, which is what a lot of the companies do. A lot of the companies they don't talk to you guys. Do you see CEOs of companies talk to their people all the time? I put myself on the front lines to you guys, and I don't know what you guys are going to ask. I talk to you guys, and it did not, I'm human with that, but I'm very confident in the things that I do, and I know I'm a good person, and I'm giving you. I believe in capitalism for good, where I don't have anything to hide, right? I'm very transparent, and I tell you guys business stuff. I tell you strategies. I share things with you guys, right? That I do. You don't see that with the other people in the other companies. One, they don't care, and two, they know because they can get called out on a lot of their BS. Did that slam John Woodmass? Hell of a last name. Woodmass. Walter Woodmass. Here comes the Woodmass. It's a hell of a name. That might be my favorite last name that I've heard of. What's a cool first name, though, that starts with W? Double W. Here comes Double W. I would just go with Woodmass, so. From Death Valley, Woodmass. Now he needs to be from Big Bear, Woodmass. From Big Bear, California. Did that slam from Big Show hurt on Toughen Up? No, we hadn't even been trained as professional wrestlers yet. Our training started the following week. So considering outside of the Miz, the rest of us had never even taken a body slam before. And by the way, we were not even told to sell. They just wanted to see our natural reactions. I sold it to what I thought I should sell it and just lay there. And where other guys popped up, and it was a pretty unorganized deal with all of that. But that guy, none of us knew how to post for him. He just had to pick dead limp bodies up for the most part with all that. He was big and strong at that point like no other. I love Show. Feed Me, thank you for the super chat. What was one of your favorite feuds in WWE that you look back and say, I had an amazing time? Any wrestlers that earned your respect? All wrestlers have my respect. Even all wrestlers have my respect. Guys with that. But as far as I enjoyed all my programs for the most part in the feuds. I don't think there's any. I go back and I sometimes will see things posted or see matches. I have a really good memory. I go, oh, I remember that. I remember that night. Like certain ones more than others. Because a lot of it can become a blur at times, but I could remember I remember feeling like this during that period, or but I always enjoyed the majority of the people I worked with, and we went out night in, night out, and whether you saw something longer or shorter on TV or pay-per-view, and we were killing it on live events and on the road 4 to 5 days for over 5 years. So Rob, good to see you, Rob Manga, buddy. Turning 40 years old in a few. Testosterone came back at 65. 651. I was going to say 65. And free testosterone at 100. Is that good? Yeah, I don't know off the scale. Usually the testosterone could either be from 900 or 1100, depending on the test used. Free testosterone off the top of my head, that seems definitely on the higher end. And you're in the mid upper, definitely mid upper on the total. Great numbers from everything I could see on that. That's very good with that. You're somebody that is doing very well and has made good decisions, and I would just continue doing what you're doing. And I think getting tested at least once a year on that is every year at that year age, and just to keep on top of it and see. And a lot of it too goes by how you feel and how your energy levels are and your drive, right? So if everything's all good, man, I think that you're on the right track with all that. Congratulations, that's great though. Joshua, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts about Miz training Logan Paul for WrestleMania? Do you think Logan is barking up the wrong tree and should just stick to boxing? Or do you think he has potential in WWE? No, I love it. I think it's great. And you get guys that have massive followings on social media and massive casual following, and you bring some of those eyes over to the wrestling world, and you hope to be able to keep some of those people and the viewers. And that's why you do that. And he is a guy that works very hard. I have no issues with any of that whatsoever. You need a mixture of everything, and it could be he's not necessarily you're doing a match, you got 3 WWE guys and then him coming in with that. So he's not, you say, well, that's taking somebody's spot on the main card, but the angle with that match wouldn't work necessarily as well. He pairs really good with that's a good partner for Miz. And that highlights Miz in a very good way. And Miz can bring the best out of him and make him more comfortable in that environment. I love it all. And Miz is definitely the right guy to put him with to make sure. And Miz is very smart in knowing how to put things together. And you're working you got Mysterio on the other side and Dominic. And I'm happy. I think that's a really cool moment, that Dominic and Ray are going to have, for the rest of their lives. That's cool. Father and son wrestling a tag match at WrestleMania. That to me, of everything going on at WrestleMania, there's so many cool things, right? A lot of things going on. That might be the best real moment happening. That like in everyone has their moments and their thing, but like that's so rare. And I feel like it's not even. I don't certainly don't see it talked about enough. I'm like that. What a cool fucking moment that is, right? Father and son get to tag at WrestleMania. Like Dominic, man, that is, and that's a cool deal, man. So I'm happy. Like I'm happy for a lot of those guys and getting those moments, and there's gonna be a lot of them certainly. So let's see. We got a super chat. Is Cody going to WWE? Missing him perform? Yeah, we talked about that earlier, and I don't know. I'm not in the loop on any of that, and I'm excited for the surprise match with Seth Rollins and to see what they're going to do. If it is him, or if they're going to hold off, or if it's not. I don't have any inside knowledge to any of that, but I do like surprises, and I think that is one cool element to the WrestleMania, having that surprise. Which is notorious now. They've had those big returns, like the Hardy Boys came back, and nobody thought they would ever see that. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really cool moment, whoever it is. God, the super chats are rolling in, guys. I can't. Wes Albertson, what do you think of Pat McAfee match at WrestleMania? I thought he was great in his time at NXT as a wrestler. He's a great personality too. Yeah, I enjoy watching him. I enjoy him on commentary. I don't listen to his show religiously outside of watching a couple people he's had on recently. But I know, and he does a lot of the sports talk, and he's got a great show. Obviously, a huge platform and deal. And if they incorporating him into that card, and making something out of that with having the Vince on his show and with Austin Theory, and yeah, as long as he's in shape and can go, that's the thing. How good a shape are you in wrestling shape? And like, I know I've heard him say he's like, oh, I'm out of shape. It's like, you don't want to be out of shape and going out in WrestleMania and having your nerves and where you're zapped and you get fatigued, but he's everything I've seen of him. He's always put in the work and backed it up. So I would expect nothing less from him on this one. Super chat here. Trio Drip. What are your thoughts on the United States Championship and Intercontinental Championship not being on WrestleMania? this year. Yeah, I just saw something on the IC title with that, and it's unfortunate. And that's again though, and I say this, guys, and I remember before when I tell you this, and the championships are props, and all the UFC championships are props. The Major League Baseball, the NHL, the championship, the trophy, the Stanley Cup trophy, basketball, boxing, all championships. I've got a Feed Me More Nutrition championship belt back there. It's a prop. But in those props, they have a story and a history behind them, and some mean more than others. Now, the WWE and the IC title has more of a storied history than the US championship within WWE, but both have a storied history, right? With that, and you would think you have these championships that are used as props on your show to fuel rivalries and to have some sort of levels within all the fighters and the pro wrestlers, right? With that, you would think, because that is what the people are fighting for on your shows, that for the most part, outside of personal rivalries and whatnot, that you would feature those prominently on all your shows, especially your bigger show, and they're not. And I don't know, they're not. And at the end of the day, and that's why I say never take those things too personal, because they are what they are. Now, with their history and their story, I get it and I understand, but they look at things for whatever reason. And when they put the card together, they felt those matches didn't fit with whatever they thought, and that's his company and his business, and they make the final call at the end of the day. But I'm with you. I do think the title should be on, the championship should be on the shows. It's like, but like if you look at a UFC card, they don't have like big cards like WrestleMania. They just have, depending on the fights, some cards are bigger than others. Sometimes they have only, one or two championships being defended. Sometimes they've had none. Right? It just, but in those ones that have none, they tend to not feel as big. So I don't know. They probably should be on. They probably should. All right, guys. With that, we're going to wrap up today's show. We're at an hour 22 and a little longer today. I appreciate all of you joining in, listening. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated as well. I appreciate all your super chats and questions. Everyone that tuned in from TikTok and IG as well, thank you very much. Please check out my supplement line, Feed Me More Nutrition, on feedmemore.com. Premium supplements, guys, no artificial sweeteners or colors. You can save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20, RYBACKSHOW20 on feedmemore.com. Until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Have a very, very, very good, peaceful, enjoyable WrestleMania weekend, and I'll see you next time. Feed me more.